Over the course of a month, I've been testing out different cordless soldering irons that were kindly sent in specifically for an unbiased review. And the clips you're about to see is me unboxing the Fanttik T1 Max, I believe. I think it's the T1 Max. I digress. When I first opened up this thing, I was kind of excited, and mostly because I know a lot of people who use this soldering iron on a daily basis. And well, after an entire month of testing, I would like to first say no. If you're new to this channel, I'm your pal Cal, and I spend my entire day doing custom builds, repairs, and just projects that nobody really needs, but I'd like to see come into fruition. Now, there are some things that I do like about this Fanttik soldering iron, and there's a lot that was just there are growing pains, I will tell you that. Switching from an actual soldering station, and for the past year, I've used a DWS 200 by Finisri. It'll take me forever to actually, somebody please tell me how to pronounce that down below, because I think I've been saying it wrong for a very long time now. And switching from a Miniware TS101 on occasion, as that's kind of my travel iron to go. Now, this was sent in for review, but this isn't paid or coerced, and every one of our videos are just blatant, just straight to the point, how I feel about, different things, custom firmware, hardware, and in this video, we're gonna be discussing irons. Now, I'm gonna be doing another cordless soldering iron next week, so if you'd like to stay up to date with cordless irons that I've been testing, then you should consider subscribing to the channel. But yeah, the clips you're about to see are from like a month ago, so. Recently I was sent in this Fanttik T1 Max, and this is my first Fanttik device, and I've heard so many people try to recommend Fanttik to me, and I feel like I've just been so engulfed in the Miniware and Finisri ecosystem, as well as Sequire here and there, that I've had no need to kind of dive into all that, although I have seen their catalog and they've got some pretty cool products. Now, this isn't like a paid review or anything. I'm just really excited to unbox this and see if it really pans out to the hype. If you're new to this channel, how's it going? I'm your pal Cal, and today we're gonna be setting up this cordless soldering iron. Okay, so a few things I want to point out. This is my first cordless soldering iron. I've been very iffy about cordless soldering irons, even though in the last week, a couple companies have reached out to me for me to try out their cordless soldering irons, and we'll be going over one in particular that I'm really looking forward to, but most of them have looked so bulky, man. And I don't want to feel like I'm holding a screwdriver while I'm soldering iron. I want to feel like it's a pencil, like I'm painting something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just hope it lives up to the hype. I hope that it can last really as long as I would want to work for before I would have to put it back in the charge. I don't know about overheating. I don't know about any of those things just yet. I feel like that will happen over time, not on my first time testing it out, wiring, 10 wires together. But it does use the same soldering tips, the C210 tips that I use in my Finisri station. And I love those tips. Those are the ones that I use the most often, that and T12s. And, well, if I need to use a T12, I have my TS101, so high hopes for this thing. On the box, it says we get the precision soldering iron, the precision soldering tips, as well as the rotating swivel stand. That's nice. Oh, it comes with a desoldering pump, some tweezers, some tips, and sponges. I hate sponges, but, you know, whatever. We'll make it work. All right, let's cut this open. That'll be right there. That's perfectly fine. All right, we've got a manual. We're not reading that. All right, over here, I'm guessing that this is the desoldering pump, a Fanttik branded desoldering pump. Nothing in there. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh, it's quality. I like this. Oh, okay. Okay, I am slightly excited. I'm really happy with this. Let's get the accessory box out and the swivel stand. What else do we got in here? Okay. These are the sponges that we will 100% never use. So that's gonna get thrown in a drawer somewhere. What are these? More sponges? Oh my God. I don't use sponges. I have never used sponges. I never will use sponges. Sponges are very strange to me. Ooh, I don't want to lose these tips. These are really good tips. Wow. Okay. And this right here is our USB-C to USB cable. I'm excited for the stand, to be honest. I've seen a couple videos about this stand in particular, and I must admit, it does look really nice. Last is our actual iron. Ooh, okay, that is fat. That is a lot fatter than I thought it would be. Adjustable temperature. I don't like seeing temperature in Fahrenheit. It's like one of the only things that I don't like seeing Fahrenheit on. I like seeing Celsius on my soldering irons. It just makes more sense to me. So we're gonna put this right on the 3 holes. There we go. Tips are inside. All right. Let's take those out real quick. Let's remove this sticker right here. Ooh, I really like that. I do, in fact. I really like that. What do we got in here? Hold on. Do we got KU tips? We do. We got 2 of them. Oh my, I love this. I really like this presentation. This is some really nice. This is nice. Okay. I like it. So far, I like the base station. I like what they're going with this. The convenience of being able to switch on the fly is fantastic. Let's plug this in. I'm hoping that, nope, that is wrong. And let's put that in there. And let's screw that back in place. All right. Okay, yeah, I do like this. Why not? We're gonna put some sponges. There's also this nice little traveling case, and you know, I'm okay with this, but I don't think I'm gonna be traveling with it anywhere, so I'm just gonna stick it in a drawer. Okay, first thoughts. As somebody who's used a Pinecil and TS101 more than I like to admit, and different types of soldering stations, this is exactly as fat as I thought it would be, and I don't know what I think yet, but let's power it on and test it out and see how it flows, man. Okay, so I got myself a CYD here, 3.5 inch. This is for a Hailhound build. As much as I would love for some helping hands right now, I'm gonna see if I can take care of this without it. Okay, so I must admit, that felt pretty good. And just like using any of the other soldering irons that use a C210 tip, I think this is a really nice soldering iron. I'm not worried about any wires. It is really big, but wholeheartedly, if I could rate this, the performance so far, so good. Now, I have heard of a couple people having it overheat after long periods of use, but for something that you could take on the fly and fix and repair something that's not in the shop and comes in a really nice bag and the case for it, man, I still can't get over that compartment. So far, I really like this, but let's try one more test. As I was recording, the power went out because there's a thunderstorm going on outside, so I'm really glad that I was able to do the little bit of testing that I did and get a feel for it before all the power went out. So yeah, I probably need a good 2 months before I can give a solid verdict and see if it overheats like I've read about and the whole nine. So we'll probably do a follow-up on many other irons besides just this one, but I'm glad that for that table now I have a soldering iron that is cordless, because there's a bunch of cords in that area, and it makes my life that much easier. Now that we've got the formalities out the way, we can discuss how I feel after a full month. There's a lot that is good, and there's a lot that is annoying. For example, the drop in temperatures that's been going on, it goes to sleep rather easily, and I like that it has somewhat of a drop protection, which can come in handy if you're in a situation where you might accidentally drop your iron, burn the carpet, or slightly worse. And it could get worse, especially if somebody drops something on their foot, God forbid. Now, I've also been testing the Fanttik alongside a Pinecil HSO3, I believe. There's an HSO2 and an HSO3. I really like the HSO3, and we'll be doing a full video on it as it has truly impressed me. Pinecil has a hot swappable battery, while the Fanttik, you're limited by either a little bit of cordless action or having a very thick soldering iron. Now, you won't find an affiliate link down below or any of that jazz. If you're interested in snagging yourself a Fanttik T1, you can find them at your local micro center, on Amazon. There's so many places where you can snag this soldering iron, but I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching it all the way through. I'd like to really thank y'all for the love and support. You guys are amazing. We'll see you next time.